Hi guys, and welcome to another silhouette tutorial. I'm Lisa Martinez, and today's tutorial is using the knife tool. I know I've gone over this previously really quickly, but today we're going to go a little bit deeper into it, and this is going to be geared to those who are using it for bigger projects, especially those that are making maybe shirts or a blanket, and your printer capabilities only allow you to print to a certain size. For instance, I have a Sawgrass 400 and the 500. Actually, I have the 400, but this works with the 500. That only allows you to print up to 8.5 by 11 or legal size 8.5 by 14. So what if you have an image or a project that is bigger than that? How can you still use your printer to do that? Well, I'm going to show you how. And this is where the knife tool comes into play. Very simple, very easy to do. Seems a little intimidating, but it's not, trust me. So let's jump in and let's get started. Okay, so we're going to just do a quick recap. First of all, I've set my paper. I've selected no machine because we're not using a machine. We don't need a cutting mat. And I've actually used my legal size settings, which is 8.5 by 14, and that's what we're going to do. But just a quick recap on cutting. So the knife function, actually. So the knife function is located on the left-hand side. So let's go ahead and I'm going to make a couple of shapes so I can show you. Let's do this little flower. Let's do this heart. And we'll actually fill the heart in. There we go. So if we were going to, if for some reason we needed to cut our little flower, this is going to work only if it's unfilled. You want to select your object, grab your knife, select your knife tool, and up here you've got a choice between a solid and an outline. And then you also have the choice of how do you want your knife to cut? Do you want it to cut a straight line, or there's actually different options. So these first four, the straight, the poly, the curve, and the freehand, those first four are actually available for the basic. Anything after this, the triangular, the saw, the square, the dovetail, all of those are going to be offered if you do one of the upgrades on the Silhouette program. So again, if you've only got the basic, these first four are going to be your friends. Honestly, I've really only used these straight, but I'll demonstrate some of these other ones here in just a second. So so you want to choose what type of line you want to cut, and then do you want an outline or a solid? Right now I have the outline selected, and this again is only going to be used if you have something that is unfilled, like our flower. So I'm going to go ahead and just cut this flower in half. The nice thing is you can actually see if you've got a nice straight line. I'm going to cut it, I'm going to release it. So it looks like nothing happened, but if we separate our flower, we've now got two separate pieces. Let me do the flower again. Make it a little bit bigger. And this time, again, it's not filled. Move my heart out of the way. This time it's not filled, but we're going to select the solid option. So knife tool, I want to select the solid. Again, we're going to cut this flower in half. So with the solid tools, it actually will create a finished line versus this one, there is no finished line. So it's literally just leaving you the outline. So if for whatever reason you want to, maybe this is going to be for a monogram, you could actually stick some font in there and create a monogram. if for some reason, again, this was going to be a monogram or you needed that finished cut off line, that's when you would select the solid. Again, the solid is going to actually make this a solid piece versus this is just going to literally just cut it and leave the outline. This function, the solid and outline, will only work if you're using an image that is unfilled like these. So let's go ahead and grab our heart, and I'm going to copy this just to show you. So let's grab our knife tool, and let's just cut this one in half as well. So I had the solid selection. Again, it makes the solid pieces. So let's go ahead and try and use this with the outline function and see what happens. Because it's filled, it's automatically gonna create that solid line for you. So if you don't want the solid and you just want the outline, I would suggest you using this unfilled image first, and then you can go in and color it. So say we wanted this piece to be green. Well, I don't know why it's not working, but then we could go in and fill it out. Okay, so let's go ahead and erase these. That's just a quick overview on the knife function. And let's just grab an image. I'm actually going to fill this one in. And I grab my knife tool. And let's just go ahead and do this sawgrass or saw tool. So if you notice, it's got these jagged lines. So now we've got, it looks like a saw has gone to it. Again, let's grab the triangle, the square. Let's fill it in. Our knife tool. And let's try this wave. So there's some points here. So you can actually adjust your points. And that's what the wave looks like. Actually kind of like that. So let's go back and adjust our wave. That dark purple was a little hard to see. So our knife tool. Okay, so let's go ahead and go straight to our image, what this tutorial is really for. That, again, that was just a quick recap on exactly what the knife tool does. And you can actually use this for fonts too. So just not sure. Everybody has different ideas for projects, and sometimes this could be helpful. This probably would be helpful for a curved font. I'm sorry, a scripted font. So for instance, if you needed this to be, say you were, oops, I had the curved. For whatever reason you needed it to fit, we could actually move these pieces and you can see how it cut the font in half. If you had a shirt or something, let me switch that back to a straight line. And you need your font cut in half. You could cut your font. This way it'll fit on your project. Okay, let's go ahead and put in an image. Let's merge and let's see what kind of image we're gonna. I don't like any of those. I have one here on my file. Okay. Okay, so here we are. So let's say we want to make a shirt and we need our image to be, let's just say a 15 by 15. Or let me see, I'm trying to figure it out so it'll fit on a like 8.5 by 11. Let's just go 8. Let's just go. We'll stick with 8.5, the 8 inches wide. But say we wanted it to be 15 inches long. Okay. So here is our image, and as you can see, it is a little bit bigger than our actual. This thing is extremely laggy today. So here is the size that we need our image to be, but our paper size is only allowing us to do 8.5 by the 14. So this is where our knife tool is going to come in handy. So 2 options. We can select to cut this straight up and down or vertical. So first of all, I think I'm going to try and cut it straight up and down to see how it's going to fit on my page. This way, because it looks like, I think if we cut it straight up and down, it's going to fit perfectly. So the first thing I'm going to look at is, number one, we do have some lettering. So when we cut this, we want to try and make sure that we can kind of get in between. You don't want to cut some of this lettering off, but you also want to be in between here, because when you go to print it, you're going to have to do some lining up, which that takes a little bit of patience, but it'll work. So let's go ahead and take our knife tool, and because it is an image, it's going to do just the straight solid outline, and I just want a straight cut. So let's go ahead and just take our knife tool, and I'm going to kind of make it a little bit longer, bring it above the image to make sure I capture everything. I know this little red line is kind of hard to see, and it looks like I might have cut a little bit off on the W, but that's okay. So let's just go ahead and release. It's processing. Takes a bit. Okay. The first thing you're going to want to do, your instinct is to grab it. Well, you've only grabbed a part of the image. What I suggest you do is you take, and if you can see your cut line, put a box around it and Control G and group these together. And move it out of the way. Control G and group your second piece together. And 2 reasons I suggest that, because as you saw, my first instinct was, oh yay, it's cut in half, let me grab it and move it. But only this circle and part of the fruit was grabbed, not the lettering. So when you group it together, you can, number one, you group each section together, and then this way it's easy to maneuver when you're adjusting it onto your paper. So here is our paper. And Let's just go ahead and make it exactly 14. Oops. Okay. So now, this thing is being so laggy with me today. There we go. Let's go ahead and make that exactly the same height so they're both match up. Okay. So now we've got our first piece that we can actually print. So what you would do is you would send this to your printer. Depending on which printer you have, if you have a Sawgrass or a Epson or whatever printer, you're going to save it, send it to your printer, print page 1 or print the first half, and then move it out of the way. And print the second page. Then you print it, and then you're going to actually cut around it, and then on your project, you will just line them up as best as you can to merge them together. Looks like. And then you would actually be able to press it all together. So let's try this again, but let's try it cutting it the other way, horizontal. And I'm going to show you the difference. Again, let's just grab the same Be Sweet. And I'm actually going to, like I said, I'm going to flip the paper landscape. So we're going to keep this this way. If you wanted to, you could actually maybe cut it directly in half. Again, it's all going to depend on your project. For instance, this one worked really well going straight up and down. And I'm actually going to make this at 14. Okay, take my knife tool and just find a point to cut. You can see that my line is nice and straight. It's not, if you notice, see how it's jagged there. So you want to try and get it nice and straight. Release, let it process. And then let's go ahead and just grab all this. And you can see that when I went to grab everything, it actually boxed everything together. We're going to go ahead and do object group. And maybe this is the way you want to. This way you don't have to finagle with trying to line up the words. We'll move that out of the way. Grab our second. Object group. We don't need those. And then at this point, we could actually print this, print our bottom half, send it to our printer, move it out of the way, print our top half, print it, and then when you're going to do your project, you could line it up and then press it into your shirt, your blanket, whatever you're going to sublimate. And maybe that might have been an easier way, because this time, instead of trying to line up words, you're literally lining up this little piece here on the design. So again, I have used that several times when I am trying to create a t-shirt, because I know sometimes depending on the size of the shirt and the design, my printer was not able to fully create that one design in one piece. So I actually had to split the image in half, and then before you press it now, what you're going to do is literally you're going to have one image here, oops, one image here and one image here, and you're just going to tape them as close to as possible. You don't want to overlap it, because remember, if you overlap it, you have the risk of not getting all that ink. So you want to tape them very close together. You don't want to keep them apart. You want to tape it as close together. So I suggest when you cut your image out, cut it, tape it as close to as that line as where you cut it, and tape it all. I would tape it if I were you. Tape it first straight down the line like that. Tape it and then put it on your project, your shirt, your blanket, whatever, and then tape that down. So it's a lot of taping involved, but trust me, you'll get the results that you want. You'll have your 2 images that you'll be able to print either on your 8.5 by 11 or your 8.5 by 14. So that's a workaround. Again, the knife tool, one of my favorite features, a little bit more in depth on how to cut big images to be able to print on a smaller printer. So I hope you found this helpful. Again, any questions, don't hesitate to reach out to me. I'm more than happy to help you try and troubleshoot, problem solve, whatever you have. And I hope to see some projects in the group. And until next time, I'll see you in 2 weeks. Bye now.